Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It is Monday. It's June 27, 2022. And I have a story for you guys I've been reading through that is incredible, and we'll just jump right into it. A lot of big box stores, Walmart, Lowe's, Target, other stores, are so flooded with inventory and with returns that they are thinking that having you return items that you don't want for whatever reason may actually be costing them more money to take care of the process of the item coming back, the shipping, the storage, the handling, the liquidation, all of that, that instead of making you return items now, they're gonna go the Amazon route and just refund you your money and you don't have to return it, which is insane-o sounding, right? So I'm gonna show you the story, but apparently when a store takes back an item that you return, that they're able to resell. Like, let's just say you opened it and it's just an open box, you didn't do anything to it or whatever. Like, it's one of those items that they can actually put back on the shelf. Typically, it says that they only get between 5 and 15% of its value. That's how big they have to discount it, which I don't know if that's true. Like, when something gets returned to Walmart, if you didn't do anything to it and it was a $100 item, do they really put it out for $15 or $20 or less? I don't know. I feel like they put it out for 50%. But anyways, when a company takes back a return that they cannot resell and they have to give it over to a liquidation company, some of the discounted retailers and B-stocks of the world where we go out and buy pallets and things, apparently it actually costs them money in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, it costs them money to handle that return, to get it shipped back to them, to get it processed by the third-party liquidator company, which charges these companies to handle all of their returns and process them and sell it off. And by the time they sell it off to someone like me or you or B-Stock or whatever amount of money they collect on it, which is usually pennies on the dollar, like you see loads that are like $50,000 in merchandise from Walmart, buy it now for $3,000, right? So you buy it all up. They collect this little bit of money and they have to use that money to cover all the shipping and the handling and paying the liquidation company. There's nothing left for them. They lose money on that. So their thought is they're going to identify the categories and the items where they're losing money across it and that they regularly can't resell it and make something, and just tell you to keep it. Like, just keep your returns. I think this is bonkers, nutso crazy. But let's go over there and check out the story, and then you can tell me what you think down in the comment section. Also, speaking of returns and store closeouts and cleanouts and discounts and pallets, I purchased 47 or 48 pallets, an entire semi-truck double stacked from a health and beauty company, a big one. And we'll talk about it when I make the video and when I do it, but I am probably going to out of state. I'm not going to talk about where, but I'm going out of state later this week for a couple days to help process the truck. And then we're going to be selling it in bulk, in boxes of 50 pieces and 100 pieces of health and beauty from one of the country's largest health and beauty discount companies that we bought an entire semi-truck from. All brand new stuff, all brand new merchandise. So I'll have updates for you on that probably after the weekend / next week, and you can start ordering it from us. Very, very affordable boxes, $1 to $1.50 a piece, depending on the boxes. And also a fun set of videos to do us processing an entire semi-truck. So you guys look for that next week. In the meantime, let's go over and check out this insane return story to see what you think about it. Okay, so here's the story. Actually see it in business. Again, I don't pick where I get my news stories based on their politics or whatever. It's whoever covered the story and it sounds good. Happen to be CNN Business. So this is Parisia Cavallan, CNN Business, updated 11:45 this morning. I didn't get around to putting the video up till now, but just keep your returns. Stores way paying you not to bring back unwanted items. Excuse me. The chaotic mix of record fuel prices and an unending supply chain crisis have retailers considering the unthinkable. Instead of returning your unwanted items, just keep them. In recent weeks, some of the biggest store chains like Target, Walmart, Gap, American Eagle, and others have reported in their latest earnings calls that they have too much inventory of stuff ranging from workout clothes, springtime jackets, and hoodies to garden furniture, bulky kids' toys, and it's costing them tons of money to store it. So we had a supply chain shortage, right? You couldn't get anything, but then all of a sudden it caught up and everything started pouring in all at once. On top of all that record e-commerce sales meant record returns. All a perfect storm. Now, add on to that a glut, another category of product that stores have to deal with, the returns. Instead of piling return merchandise onto this growing inventory heap, stores are considering just handing customers their money back and letting them hang on to the stuff they don't want. This is so ripe for fraud, I can't even explain it, but wait till you read at the end what they say. So GOTRG processes more than 100 million units of returned items annually. That's a return liquidation company. They build pallets, they sell it. The retail expert and managing director of the Strategic Resource Group, Bert Flickinger, says it would be a smart strategic initiative. Retailers are stuck with excess inventory of unprecedented levels. Well, that's their problem. They can't afford to take back even more of it. Return products are handled in a number of different ways, he says. With retailers take back merchandise from a customer, they evaluate it, and if it's in good condition, put it back on the shelf at the same or lesser price. They don't put it back on the shelf for the same or lesser price. It just depends. It totally depends. They can refurbish damaged returns and sell them for less or offload them to liquidators, generally what they do. They can also sell return products to foreign liquidators for sale in Europe, Canada, or Mexico. They cannot do that right now. Given the situation at the ports and the container shortages, sending product overseas isn't really an option. Exactly. Plus the cost. Lastly, retailers can hire third-party firms to handle all aspects of the merchandise returned for them, which they do, like B-Stock and FRTG, whatever they are. Each of these options, however, tack on additional costs. They have to pay these companies to do that. For every dollar in sales, a retailer's net profit is between a cent to 5 cents. With returns, for every dollar in returned merchandise, it costs a retailer between 15 and 30 cents to handle it. So essentially what they're saying is when the items get returned, it actually costs them more money than if they could resell it for pennies on the dollar. There is one option for retailers to address returns while avoiding more product bloat, and that is considered a returnless return. He's the chief operating officer with GOTRG, which is Steve Ropp, a firm that processes 100 million returned items annually. You can buy pallets from them. They sell truckloads. You have to have a little bit of money and a little bit of history, but you can do it. Ropp said his company clients are 100% considering offering the Keep It option for returns this year. He won't disclose if any of his customers have actually implemented it yet. In some instances, when they determine it would be easier, some retailers advise customers to just keep or donate their item. They're already discounting in stores to clear out products, but when there's heavy discounting, buyer's remorse goes up. People are tempted to buy a lot to only return it later. Exactly, which, again, it's going to be fraud. Refunding customers while simultaneously letting them keep their returns isn't a new practice. Of course, it started with Amazon. It happens all the time. As a seller, you'll know that. The offer makes sense for some type of products, like lower price tier, bulky items like furniture, appliances, home decor, baby chairs, walkers, strollers. It's just too costly for them to return. It makes sense with the shipping, right? Other products like kids, toys, footwear, towels, and bedding raise sanitary concerns, so it could apply to those categories. Another concern with cheaper items, stores typically discount returned products, so the amount of money they can make on an inexpensive item return is minuscule and may not be worth the trade-off. So let's say you buy a $20 item for them and they're going to return it. It's going to cost them a few dollars to get it back. They're going to have to refund you. Then they're only going to be able to sell it for a couple of dollars. It doesn't make sense for them to do that. I get it. Still, the Keep It policy has its own disadvantages. Namely, companies will need to ensure that they don't become the victims of fraud. Hello. One thing retailers need to track and ensure is that customers that become aware of the Keep It policy do not begin to abuse it. Oh, it's coming. I am already predicting here on my channel sometime in the future, somebody's going to be arrested for committing fraud on the return merchandise Keep It as soon as they figure out that every single time they return a CD player, Target tells them to keep it and they suddenly buy 500 CD players. By seeking free merchandise over a series of orders by getting a refund but keeping the merchandise. Yes, exactly. This will happen. Anyways, what do you guys think of this? Is just crazy. This is asinine, insane in my book, in my opinion, but I'll leave it to you guys in the comment section below as always. That belongs to you, and I want to hear if everyone else feels like I do on this one. This is crazy, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks for the story here. Parisia Cavalans on CNN Business. Stores want you to keep the returns and refund you without sending them back. Very interesting thought process. Thank you as always for watching. Hit that like button, everybody. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. That way you can keep up with all the latest news, stories, e-commerce, business, reselling, and everything else in between. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time.